I ain't gotta prove nothing to nobody else. That's why I don't never get too hyped about the win after I win, because it's like you always gotta do something over and over again till you done. And it's always gonna be somebody next. So I feel as though I don't have to prove myself to these people.
Let's go! Lift it up! Come on! Come on, man!
You're here. You know what I'm saying? So we are striving to be the best that we can be to be on that level again. You know? So, you know, you saying you want to do what you want to do, that's good, because that's what you want to do.
That's the God in you that's trying to,
that's good.
Seek it, you know?
And you giving back and giving thanks.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis has been honing every aspect of his skill set ahead of his planned bout with Jake Paul, demonstrating that his knockout ability comes as much from rigorous training as from natural talent. His camp focuses on enhancing strength, timing, and endurance, keeping him dangerous in every moment of the fight. On the other side, Jake Paul is treating this matchup as the biggest challenge of his career. He's brought in top-tier sparring partners, including Shakur Stevenson, Raymond Ford, and Montana Love, to test his limits, sharpen his speed, and build confidence before facing Davis in the ring.
So that's boxing at its finest right there. You heard it. They said it. Make that bet. Everything on the line. You know, that's old school right there. That's
Gervonta "Tank" Davis is placing a strong emphasis on conditioning, focusing on building a solid core and preparing his body to both absorb and deliver fight-altering power. Having felt the impact of heavy shots throughout his career, he knows how crucial toughness and stability are once the action begins. His training camp features intense strength and endurance drills aimed at testing balance, posture, and resilience, while also enhancing the explosiveness of his punches. Each session is conducted at maximum intensity, helping him develop not only physical power but also the mental edge he'll need when facing Jake Paul in the ring.
Ain't nobody breaking.
Box, exhale.
Ain't nobody breaking.
Box. Man, boom on that last break. Box.
Fight boom.
I got him.
We take shit. Box. That's all.
I don't want that hip drop.
Yeah, I felt that.
Good, perfect. That was your best rep. Come on. Come on.
Jake Paul is deep into one of the most demanding training camps of his career, approaching his upcoming fight with Gervonta "Tank" Davis as his toughest challenge yet. To meet the task, he has surrounded himself with elite sparring partners designed to push him beyond his limits. Among those in his camp is Shakur Stevenson, whose technical skill and ring intelligence provide Paul with invaluable experience. He's also training alongside Raymond Ford and Montana Love to sharpen his speed, timing, and defensive awareness. Paul knows that Davis possesses a unique combination of speed, power, and ring IQ, unlike any opponent he's faced before. Every session is focused on strengthening fundamentals, improving reactions, and building the confidence he'll need when fight night arrives. Gervonta "Tank" Davis has built his reputation in boxing through relentless work and unwavering dedication. His journey is one of continuous growth and perseverance. Trainer Calvin Ford, who has worked with him since his early days, has seen firsthand how Davis evolved from a hungry young prospect into a world champion who thrives under pressure. According to Ford, the skill and composure fans witness on fight night are the results of countless unseen hours, grueling training sessions, strict discipline, and significant personal sacrifices. Every success Davis has achieved has been earned through focus and effort. From his debut to now, his development has never slowed as Davis prepares for his showdown with Jake Paul. The boxing world is abuzz with opinions, debates, and predictions about what promises to be one of the sport's most talked about matchups.
Wait, man, it's just so much stuff. And man, King was sitting there talking about, and the majority of it is when he was little. We talk about all the stuff when he was little, and he started laughing like, dang.
When I get by myself, I always try to like think about like back in the day something like that.
But we can tell.
I just noticed that just now, me talking about it. But when I get by myself, I'll be trying.
No, we can tell. When I listen to your interview, I like listening to your interviews that you do, and I can tell when you reflect back on certain things.
Yeah.
You can see it. You can see it. That's when I think you at your peace, and you start reflecting back, and you talking about.
When he says something that we told him a long time ago,
and I said, damn, we like, damn, he did remember that.
Yeah, he remember that shit.
Yeah. I see Brody been calling you a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, as far as on the which card I'm trying to fight you.
Veteran trainer Abel Sanchez sees the upcoming fight as a significant opportunity for Gervonta Davis, both in terms of career and personal achievement. He points out that many fighters devote their entire lives to boxing, sacrificing their youth, their health, and countless hours in the gym, yet often struggle to attain lasting financial security. In Sanchez's view, this matchup is different. It gives Davis a chance to be properly rewarded for all the effort and dedication he has invested in the sport. The potential earnings from a fight of this scale are transformative, and few athletes have such an opportunity while still in their prime. While the bout with Jake Paul may not carry championship titles or ranking points, Sanchez believes it holds a unique value, one that could solidify Davis's long-term future. For him, this fight represents boxing finally giving back to a fighter who has already given so much.
As a fight fan, I don't like the fight. But as a coach, I think it's a good move for Tank Davis. I mean, I think I've seen too many kids go out of this sport with not a cent in their pocket. And I think that if Tank Davis takes advantage of a big payday like that, I think it's a ridiculous fight as far as a fight fan. But as a coach, I understand it. You have to take care of your own.
Yeah, you know, well, actually, now that we're talking about it, you're not the biggest fan of it. Fight fans are bringing up like, hey, you know, why did he go this way when there's Lamont Roach? Like, look how close that fight was. There was a draw. We were expecting a rematch in that fight.
Yeah, well,
What's happening here?
As much as we hate it, it hasn't become really a sport. It's become a financial sport. So he took it because it's 5-6 times more than he's going to make with Lamont Roach. That makes sense. I mean, anybody, ask anybody if they have a choice, they're going to take the money. Of course. He's got to take care of his people. He's got to take care of himself. He's got to take care of his future. That's the smartest thing to do. As a fight fan, I don't like it. But as a coach, I understand it.
Yeah, no, and I think anybody in that position, like, we got to, like, put ourselves maybe sometimes in that same situation. And I think
Absolutely.
Anybody with, like, any, like, sense of, like, common sense would look at that and be like, wait, I'm making this much to fight against this guy that's only been fighting for 5 years compared to what could be maybe a really hard fight, and I'm going to make double, triple. Yeah, I'm going to go. Let me do this little side quest real quick, and let me get this money real fast. And then,
of course, you have to take care of your future, man. If it's offered to you, you'd be foolish not to take it, especially against a guy that is no threat to him.
oh, well, I don't know. This 50 pounds, Abel.
Yeah, but he's no threat to him. Tank Davis fights the way he fights. Understand that Tank Davis fights. He's probably one of my favorite fighters. I think I've said that many a times. He fights in a manner where he's fought all those big guys. Look at the way he throws his punches. Look at how he ducks down like if he's fighting a real big guy. Look at the way he fought when he knocked out Garcia. Look at when he puts his head in, how he throws his punches. In the street, that's who he was fighting. He was fighting bigger guys than him. He was always a smaller guy. So he knows how to fight those big guys. He knows how to duck up underneath and throw those looping shots because that's who he fought in the street. At least that's my opinion anyway. He's always been the little guy, and I'm sure that in the streets he wasn't a choir boy.
Chris Algieri has also praised what Gervonta "Tank" Davis contributes to modern boxing. He points out that today's sport isn't solely about technical skill. It's also about presence, charisma, and the ability to captivate an audience. In Algieri's view, Davis strikes that balance perfectly. Each time he enters the ring, the energy shifts, the crowd grows louder, anticipation rises, and fans tune in because with Tank, anything can happen. Algieri emphasizes that Davis is one of the most dangerous finishers in the sport. His knockout power keeps audiences on edge, waiting for the fight to turn. Beyond his athletic abilities, Algieri sees Davis as a defining figure of boxing's new era, a fighter who combines entertainment with elite-level performance. He believes Davis fully understands the modern landscape, where maintaining relevance and commanding attention are just as important as winning rounds.
Fall soon, and it's
the
face of boxing is basically the face of boxing now is based on if you sell and if people tune in and how many eyes are tuning in when you fight. Gervonta Davis had that. Jake Paul has that. Now they're fighting each other.
Again,
Hey,
these are
truly
these are created
after this
products.
fight.
These are still created products. Jake made his name going to Walgreens and making funny faces. You know what I mean? And then it was just blowing up on YouTube and whatnot, right? I mean, that's how he started.
The world we live in now, dude. It's unfortunate.
Okay,
It's not like Sugar Ray Leonard, who was the best fighter in the world and marketable. It's not like Oscar De La Hoya, who was a gold medalist, a great fighter and marketable.
But what I'm saying is technology allows us to make, if I want to take this shoe off right here, and I say I want to make my Nike sneaker into the best product possible, and I got enough money to push it behind it. I put it all over your social media platform, and I put it all over your TV set, and all over your phone, and all over. You know what, bro?
A debate has been growing around Jake Paul and the fairness of the conditions in his fights. Former champions Carl Froch and Paulie Malignaggi have weighed in, noting that while they don't believe Paul's bouts are staged, they often feel the matchups are structured to his advantage. According to them, Paul frequently enters the ring with certain benefits, whether in size, weight, or specific fight rules that play to his strengths. They expect a similar scenario in a bout against Gervonta "Tank" Davis, given that Paul is naturally the bigger, heavier fighter and the regulations could be tailored in ways that limit Davis's usual strengths. Froch and Malignaggi also recognize the business side of these high-profile events. Boxing thrives on spectacle and storytelling, and promoters aim to create memorable, sellable moments. That said, both stress that Davis's raw talent and ring IQ give him the ability to overcome these obstacles. If the contest comes down purely to skill, they believe Tank's superior boxing could quickly shift the fight in his favor.
Fight because they realized, an exhibition, you could stage it and they couldn't take bets on it. So this is an exhibition. There is no betting on it. So that means, I'm not saying people are going crazy with the opinions, who's going to win, who's going to lose. You don't know what size gloves they're going to wear. You don't even know if they're going to stage the whole thing. Because this is something that, as an exhibition, it's not illegal to stage it. So I think this could be all kinds of crazy, wacky stuff. This is a bit of a circus, in my opinion.
Who would you think should win that fight? Would you think that Davis should be able to get in there, even though the size did 100 pounds? Do you think he should be able to do it?
If they don't stage it and don't kind of set up a sort of a mild sparring session, I'd say Davis has a chance. Depends on the size of the gloves. Because here's the thing, Jake is probably 100 pounds bigger than the guy. That's a lot of weight, Carl. You've been in a boxing ring, that still counts. And if you make the gloves small, Gervonta could technically hurt Jake even if he hits him. But the problem is, the gloves are small. Jake could also hurt Gervonta because Gervonta's so small. Gervonta's so much smaller than him. So do you make the gloves big, and then really who's got an advantage? I don't know. Technically Gervonta's a lot better boxer, but he's so much smaller. I've stood next to Jake. Jake's a big guy. It's like I said, it's a bit of a circus freak show, and that's why I don't put it out of the question that this exhibition could be a bit staged in the ring.
That's fair enough. That's a fair point. That is, and actually,
people aren't talking about that enough. I feel like people aren't talking about that enough.
Well, he's threatening to sue everybody who talks about it and anyone who talks about it.
Well, that's because his fights have been sanctioned, and I personally don't think he has set up the other fights. I personally think, like Mike Tyson, he had no legs left. You know what I mean? To tell you the truth, I thought that was an easy one to bet and call. It was that Jake would beat Mike Tyson, and even some of these other fights, they're smaller. Jake doesn't set up his fights. I think what he does is he stacks the deck against his opponents in those fights. So I wouldn't call them staged, but they're deck stackers. So he has an advantage. In this situation, though,
Stevenson analyzes the matchup between Jake Paul and Gervonta "Tank" Davis from a purely technical perspective. He acknowledges that Paul has a natural size and strength advantage, but emphasizes that size alone does not determine the outcome of a fight. Stevenson believes Davis's experience against elite-level opponents will be decisive. Tank has faced and defeated world champions, fighters who have dedicated their entire lives to mastering their craft. Stevenson expects that Davis won't rush in searching for a knockout. Instead, he'll remain patient, relying on speed, timing, and precise distance control. And Stevenson's view, the smarter fighter will prevail, and that's where Davis stands out. He anticipates a composed, tactical performance from Tank, steadily accumulating rounds. While Paul may be durable and difficult to stop, Stevenson believes that over 12 rounds, Davis's superior boxing skills will ultimately be the determining factor.
Two guys.
Size will play some part of the fight, but if I'm thinking like I'm Tank, I'm probably just gonna go out there and try to outbox him and use my knowledge and IQ against him. So I can see Tank just outboxing him and making it real easy.
Is there any way any realistic or legitimate way in your mind you could see Jake Paul winning a fight against Tank?
No.
No way.
Nope.
Not a lot of people have talked about Jake and said he's got good power. Not even, and I get anything could technically happen, but you don't even see a realistic shot where he could land one big punch, and Tank being so much smaller, he just can't handle the power.
Nah, not at all. I think Tank is he's been boxing his whole life. He's been boxing since a kid, so I doubt like that's gonna be an issue or problem. I think Jake is good for where he's at, but I think it's just levels.
Do you see a more likely chance that Tank wins by decision or by knockout?
By decision. I mean, that guy's too big. I don't think that he's just gonna knock that guy out. So I see him like outboxing him.
Could you see a realistic possibility where Tank could knock him out? Although more likely that it is, like you just said, decision.
Nah, I don't see him knocking him out, no.
Will you watch, Shakur? I mean,
no.
Obviously, no?
Hell no, nah. That ain't really like... I mean, like I said, here's the thing. Like, I got two sides to me when it comes down to I got a business side, then I got a competitor side. And from the competitive aspect, it don't excite me for me to be like...
Weight has emerged as a major point of discussion for this matchup. Many fans and analysts question whether it's fair for a naturally smaller fighter like Gervonta "Tank" Davis to face a significantly larger opponent such as Jake Paul, suggesting that the size difference could create an uneven playing field and even raise safety concerns. Others, however, see it differently. They argue that elite skill can overcome physical disparities, and that Davis's speed, precision, and ring intelligence may be enough to offset the weight gap. Boxing history is full of examples where the smaller
is happening. WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis, who's unbeaten in 31 professional contests, takes on the self-proclaimed problem child Jake Paul, one of the most influential and marketable global personalities. Paul and Davis square off in Miami after doubts around the fight being sanctioned in Georgia triggered a change in venue. Neither fighter can weigh more than 195 pounds. The weight is perhaps the most surprising factor. Paul has boxed most of his career around 200 pounds, the cruiserweight limit, but did tip the scales at 227 pounds when he faced off against Iron Mike Tyson last year. Davis, much smaller in stature, competes at the 135 pound mark and has also won world honours at super featherweight. And despite some discussions about possibly dropping down to 10 ounces, the pair seems set to wear 12-ounce gloves. And in terms of distance, despite the exhibition tag, the fight will play out over 10 3-minute rounds with 3 scoring judges at ringside, but the result will not be officially recorded on their...
Trainer and former world champion Robert Garcia has weighed in on the matchup, stressing that there's nothing wrong with Gervonta "Tank" Davis choosing to take this fight. In Garcia's view, it's Davis's career, and he has every right to make decisions that serve his own interests. His main concern is timing. He believes Tank is still building his legacy, with major fights and championship opportunities ahead that could further cement his place in boxing history. Many see this potential bout as more than just a fight, it's a global spectacle. Jake Paul's rise through social media and entertainment has given him a massive following beyond traditional boxing audiences. Some experts view this crossover appeal positively, as it introduces new fans to the sport and expands its reach. Others argue that it blurs the line between genuine competition and entertainment, shifting attention away from pure boxing. Concerns have also been raised about the fight's conditions. Analysts suggest Paul could push for heavier gloves or a higher weight limit, adjustments that might dampen Davis's power. If that happens, Garcia believes Tank will need to remain patient and tactical in order to methodically wear his opponent down.
Before something like that, but I don't know. What's your just take on the whole thing?
I'm not very interested in it. That doesn't excite me. I know it's going to do really good numbers. I know they're making a lot of money, which is good for them, good for Tank, because in boxing that's what everybody looks for. I think it's, the good thing is they announced it as an exhibition, which is, I'm okay with it. Everybody does it. Mayweather has done it. Ali did it. The only thing, my personal opinion is Tank. They all did it when they had already accomplished so much. They already did so much. Mayweather did everything in boxing and accomplished everything. Muhammad Ali did the same, and many others that have done it. I think Tank never gave us the fights that we really wanted. Never really gave us those challenges. He never really challenged himself. He didn't give broached that rematch, which he should have. You know, Mayweather did it when he had a hard time with Maidana and Castillo. Right away, he did the rematches to prove everybody wrong, and look at what he did. He beat him clearly. So Tank should have done the same. He didn't. That I could criticize, but then at the end also, if you're making 30 to 50 million, I don't even know what he's making to fight, to have an exhibition against just Jake Paul, I would have asked. I would do the same.
No one would say no to that. Right?
If I had one of my fighters get an offer to fight a big celebrity, a big YouTuber for $20-30 million, I would probably do the same. So I don't blame him. You know, it's boxing. At the end of his career, 20 years from now, nobody's gonna care how many belts you won.
Boxing commentator Bernie Thaw takes a candid view of the upcoming matchup. He often expresses frustration when the conversation centers on the money Gervonta "Tank" Davis stands to earn. As Bernie notes, Davis is already financially secure and has enjoyed considerable success in his career. For him, boxing should be about more than paychecks. Fans want real competition, champions facing champions, and meaningful matchups that truly test skill and heart. Bernie sees the Davis-Paul fight as a clash of eras. On one side is Gervonta Davis, a fighter forged through the traditional boxing route, years of dedication, relentless sparring, and a career built on merit and hard-earned victories. On the other side is Jake Paul, a product of the digital age, whose fame came through entertainment before entering the sport. Yo, Bernie, this matchup represents more than a win or loss. It symbolizes a choice about the future of boxing, whether fans prefer the purity of the old-school system or the spectacle-driven world of modern celebrity boxing.